Hey guys, how are you?
Hey
Hey,
Joey,
Joey.
good. How are you?
All right. Well, it's raining outside. That sucks, but everything else is fine.
Where where are you? Where are you, Joey?
I'm in Brooklyn right now with
Oh, nice.
and my also large dog is hiding in the bathroom. So
Oh,
he's
I wish we could say hi.
but I've actually known about this film forever because one of my good friends was your ASPCA person, Kendall. She worked on your.
Oh, amazing. We just saw her the other night. Yeah.
She was just telling me about it because I actually saw the film. I was in the first audience at Telluride, so I
Oh,
sent her pictures of Bing, and she was like, "Oh, you look." They started telling me all these things. I was like, he's busy. I that I didn't I sort of didn't know what to expect. Everyone was off doing Nickel Boys, so I was like, I want to go see this. I'm interested. And then I didn't realize how much it is about grief. And I had lost my mother a year ago, and my dog grieved her like very accurately to this
oh,
film.
wow.
Uh,
Wow.
it was kind of incredible to watch, while also being deeply traumatic, but getting that kind of, there's no other way to put it, like performance out of an animal is kind of incredible because he how do you guys do that? Because obviously you can't necessarily direct an animal, but you can guide, and like there is that sense that he understood what was going on, which I know is you guys. It's editing, it's direction, but it's seamless. I've never seen an animal performance like that.
Thank you so
Thanks so
much
much.
for
I
saying
mean,
that. Yeah.
it's not unlike casting actors, human actors, in that, there's so much in a face, right? Like there's like Naomi Watts. She has a face where when you're in close up on Naomi, you feel like you're going into her interior life. And Bill's the same way in that in the last scene that they have together in the end when she really stuns him and she's on the couch and she's crying and we have those close-ups of that close-up of Bill, you feel like you're just going right inside. And so in the hunt for the right dog to play Apollo, that was something that we were really looking for. Like what is the countenance of the dog? And Bing was the last dog that we saw. We probably went around the country seeing 30 dogs over the course of 5 or 6 months. And Bing was the last dog that we saw because we knew we had found the right one because we felt that from him.
Oh yeah, because you see eye acting and facial acting and things that you barely see it in some actors, let alone in an animal. And it is just, you watch it and there's something about, also just the degree of difficulty of doing this, because obviously if you don't have the right dog, your movie doesn't work, and that is I would imagine pretty terrifying going into
You
it.
know,
For
and
sure.
I don't know, I don't know what we were thinking because in retrospect, I think I can't believe that we did that.
We had a similar experience. We made a movie with a 6-year-old girl called What Maisie Knew, and I remember like on about day 2, she was amazing. We were having this great time, and I looked at David and I said, "What if tomorrow she says she doesn't want to do this? Like, what are
Like,
we
mommy, I don't want to do this anymore.
But she didn't. Like I had a great time, made the movie. But it was similar with Bing. It's like he's having a good time. This is all going well. But what if like it stops? There's no reasoning with him. There's no like there's no carrot to really offer him about like this performance will make your career. Like he doesn't care.
And we had a photo double with us the whole time. His name was Wilder, and we never used Wilder. And if we had to use Wilder, it just wouldn't have been the same movie. Like he's really like Bing really is special that way.
It's true, you can't offer him producer credit or anything like that.
Right.
I I had actually interviewed her for What Maisie Knew. I have a picture of Skarsgård with her like on his lap.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
That was it is, yeah, you guys break all the rules of don't work with children.
yeah. No,
Don't
it's
worry,
true.
all the things. No, but I imagine when you're writing it, it's such a literary story and it's such a literary movie. Writing it must be very satisfying and very fun. But then when you realize, oh, I have to actually make this visual and cinematic and interesting, all of a sudden it's, well, I better cast this right, and we need to figure out how to have it have forward momentum. So much of it is internal. Like it is really about how people feel. And that, if not done right, is flat. It's not boring, but it can be flat. And the movie it also feels so New York, which is, I think, kind of the other secret sauce. Like no one bats an eye with a giant dog in New York. Nobody bats an eye with a woman struggling with a giant dog, and you're like, it fits. Like no matter what's happening, you go, yeah, that's probably right, and I'm busy.
Yeah. No, I mean, the New York of it was something that really attracted us in the book, but also something that we were excited to try and represent in a way that felt right for the story. So, and to make New York very big and nostalgic feeling in a way, but specific also to our story. So that was, as filmmakers, that was very exciting.
And we talked about a lot of how to do that, like both through locations and light and, you know, time of year, but also, you know, with the score, just like how do we make this New York film sing like a New York film ought to.
And apartments, you know, because it's
Yeah.
it is very funny when you watch a movie and you can tell the people making it don't really know what a New York apartment looks like. It's like, wow, that's a giant apartment. They make a but they're unemployed. Okay, like the only person who could ever get away with it was Woody Allen, because you're like, it's his dream of New York. That's fine.
Right.
But I think the idea that so many of these apartments are small. They're filled with books. They're you know, they're designed to look like, well, this is how I made this a livable space, is I think also just important for the film, because you don't really understand why it's such an insane thing to have Bing in, or Apollo in that space, unless you realize like, oh, he's 50% of the apartment now. Like he's
And you know, the interior of that apartment is a build, and Scott's sister Kelly, that's how we know each other, is our production designer and has been working with us for our entire career. We sweated over how big to make that apartment in terms of, because there's the actual the actual build, but then how are you going to photograph it? And we have to be in that apartment for a week, so we got to be able to work in there. So
we also had to have an apartment that, with a plot point that she doesn't want to lose this apartment, would make sense to someone who doesn't live in New York.
So there was a lot of, yeah. But it all worked out, and the interior apartment stuff was really fun to shoot.
Oh, yeah. And then just the exterior being like, okay, I understand, because you start to, it's threads throughout the film of just like, oh yeah, no, this is a nice environment. This is comfort. It fits for the idea of like, oh, he's disrupting everything and making the discomfort.
Right.
It is such a, I think, quintessential New York movie, and they don't, there aren't a ton of them anymore. I think it's obviously expensive to do, and it's easier just to not. But there's something about it, and I think it lingers. Like if you think about, you know, when you're first getting into film and you watch movies set in a place that interests you or a place that you live in, they do hit you in a way that you're not, I don't even know if you quantify necessarily, but like you think about that, it stays with you in a way. And I think this is one that can do that.
Thanks so much for that, because we really think about, in all of our movies, location is always something that we think about really quite a lot.
Oh yeah, and I think even genre, like uncertainty, that feels very of a place, you know. And I think it's the easiest thing not to do, right? Because it's the easiest way to save money, right? Don't care about the location, Budapest, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But like being on the actual street, being on the ferry, like being able to see those things gives it a weight that you don't have to overwrite, you don't have to overplot, you don't have to actors, they have to do more work. Everything here is so natural. I think you know, you don't feel like they're beholden to anything except the script and like feeling these characters, because they are messy and interesting and human, and goddamn the dog is human in this. So there's something about it that I think the location combines to do, and I honestly, it's insane that you guys pulled it off in the best way. Like,
No,
Thank you very
I mean,
much.
I really appreciate you saying all that, because like it's all of that's super meaningful to us too.
what is it like when you have it ready but you haven't shown it yet? Because it goes to a festival. It's, you know, one of many. It's a very specific environment. Like I've gone enough years now to realize like specific type of audience watches a specific type of film, and then you kind of have to figure out like, was that the right audience for the film? But to have like, you know, just nothing but like quiet sobbing going on for 2 hours and quiet release feeling when the credits roll, I think is a sign of a job well done. And I love that it's not, you know, just coming out in the middle of nowhere. It's getting a, you know, a proper release and being put forth to people. It's on the Times Square, you know, billboard outside the movie theater. I sent Kendall a picture. I was like, look, it's on the marquee. Like there's about making it just a drama with people dealing with life feel like a film to go see in a movie theater, because honestly, they don't come out in movies anymore. It's
You know, I'd be lying if I said like we had an answer to that, because it's so, movies are made in such constituent parts, and it's the sum of those constituent parts that creates the mood or the feeling from a film. But as the filmmakers, all filmmakers really feel that way, even if they don't admit it. You just don't know, because you can't really see the movie anymore. You can only see the thing that you've created. So it makes us extremely happy when people have an emotional response to the film. It's really great.
Bleecker Street's really giving it a big push, which we're thrilled by. Like that they're a distributor that really believes in theatrical like exhibition. So we're very excited to see it reach an audience in theaters, coming right up.
Theaters. It was made to be seen on a screen.
It is. I mean, that's how I saw it. And it does. It feels like that movie that, I'm 38, like right after college, I would have gone to the Angelica to see, right? It would have been like Friday night, and you're the youngest person there, and it's an older crowd, but like everyone's like, I read the paper and I saw a review of a movie, and I'm going to like it. That used to be the communal experience. Then sometimes someone would like walk up to you and start talking about the movie, and you're like, I don't know if I want to talk to the person, but the movie made it, and you don't get that with like, I'm sure, listen, Netflix pays well, and like a lot of people do watch it, but you never know anyone else who watched it. And honestly, like, you guys got paid, like you got to make the movie, but there's something about conversation, right? And engagement. Like I always feel like a filmmaker would rather hear, I loved your movie or I hated your movie. You don't want to hear, it was fine, I went to dinner afterwards. Like that's the worst. I mean, you didn't. It's like just theatrical means you engage with a movie.
No, and I mean, we were so happy that Sean Baker talked about that when he, won his Oscar this year, because, we do make movies to be seen in a dark room on a big screen
with other people
collectively. And then maybe you'll have a conversation, like you said, with someone you've never even met before afterward.
Right before I saw your guys' movie, I saw Nora, and I sat with someone, and they had a completely wrong reading of the end of the movie. Hear them like you did. I can't believe you watched the same movie as me, but okay. I told Sean that, and he was like, wow, you can tell he's like, any reaction's great, but like, okay, interesting. Movie took place. I live in Coney Island, Brighton Beach area. So like I'm looking at the plot of the film like out my window. It's
oh nice.
Something about like it's crazy. I'll walk my dog and I'll see like, oh, the movie I don't won Best Picture is outside. Like that I don't think you would feel that if you just streamed it and watched it at home, paused it not for looking at your phone. There's something about dedicating 90 minutes to 4 hours, depending on what filmmaker you are, to sitting in a room and watching your movie. And I think the fact that people engage like they do with this film is in no small part to I'm dedicating time to sit in a movie theater and watch it.
Yeah.
We really believe in that.
I love that you guys do, and I want you to keep it up, and please keep making it hard on yourselves, because the end result is good. So I don't know, I shoot in space next time. I don't know what the next thing is that's different.
Thanks.
I love that you guys find a story and pursue it, and it works out, and you get a human reaction. What more can you ask for?
Yep.
Thanks.
It's the best. Thank you.
For doing this. Congrats.
All right. Really nice talking to you.